welcome to the San Diego County Credit Union's virtual series of the Festival of Arts. I'm here with Allison over here at Pigment, and hopefully last week you joined us at Bivouac with some cider and great charcuterie. But today we're going to be building some succulent gardens.
Yep, totally.
Awesome. Well, Pigment is one of my favorite places, and sorry I stepped on you. Pigment's one of my favorite places in North Park. I feel like I'm there once a week, either getting a plant or a gift card or who knows what. I always find something when I walk in, and my husband, he can never say no because he always goes to Bottlecraft around the corner. So it's like he gets his beer, I get my home good stuff. So
there you go.
Allison, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Pigment?
So my name's Allison. Like she said, I'm the green director here at Pigment, which kind of just means that I manage all of our green life and create a lot of our succulent arrangements. Pigment started as a store in just North Park, and now we've grown to 3 locations, so Point Loma and Del Mar. And today I'm going to walk you through how to plant.
Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about what kind of plants do you carry at Pigment?
So we carry a wide variety of house plants as well as succulents and cacti. We've got house plants, big, small. We've got fiddly figs, trees, all the kind of standard good stuff. And then we do a lot of the arrangements. That's one of our best-selling things is our arrangements. You can come in, build your own. Anytime there's always a green educator at one of our stores to help walk you through building your own, or you can buy one pre-made. They're great gifts, all that kind of good stuff. So
yeah. Last week I bought this. I haven't ever seen a cactus like this, but it looks like a zigzag. It's like an orchid cactus or whatever.
The rickrack cactus?
Yes, yeah. I saw it and I was like, this is so unique and different.
Really cool.
I know.
Yeah.
So I bought one, and even my husband, he approved. He was like, well, that's a pretty cool plant. So we're going to make one of these. Shall we just kind of get started?
Yeah, let's get started. So we're going to walk you through.
Okay.
There's 2 options available for everyone to purchase. There's the small and the larger, so we're going to start with the small one. I've got pre-selected plants for us.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah. And then this is where we'll kind of dump our dirt, but the first thing we're going to do is fill up our little bowls with dirt. You're going to fill it up all the way to the top.
Okay.
It's much better to let a little dirt spill out than to try to be putting it back under to fill up the pot once you've already got your plants in.
Got it.
So anyone doing this at home is going to want to fill it up all the way to the top.
Awesome. Okay.
And don't worry about making a mess. We are expected to happen.
The first thing you said, and then I dumped it all over, of course.
I knew it was going to happen, so I just wanted to.
Oh, it's because there's partly a hole.
Yes, so there's a drainage hole at the bottom of all these, so nothing gets overwatered.
So what kind of soil do you guys use? Just kind of all-purpose?
So this is a cactus and succulent specific soil.
Okay.
So you'll notice it's really gritty. Got a lot of little rocks and things like that in it, so it's super well draining because cactus and succulents are so sensitive to overwatering. You'll want to have that, but we'll give anyone doing this, you'll have a little bag of it coming at you.
That look good?
Perfect.
Cool.
So you've got that ready. Then you're going to want to pick whatever plant you want to start with. I kind of like to start with the cacti a lot of times.
Okay.
I'll hand you tongs for that. If you're at home, you can use chopsticks or any kind of little thing to grab, or maybe you've got gloves. We tried to pick nothing too prickly. I'll probably just grab it with my hands.
Oh, you're brave. These ones I feel like are the silent ones. Like I have one at home and I brush by it and all of a sudden I have these little tiny.
It's the ones that look really, really fuzzy. These at least look a little pokey.
Oh yeah, you're right. Doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, and if you grab down at the base, there's usually not too much poking down there. You're going to want to get in there and remove most of that soil. So you're just rubbing the roots. You're waking up the root system so it'll root nicely in its new home. And it also, all that extra soil makes it harder to pack in a lot of succulents like we do. So this kind of creates a little extra room.
Looks like a little octopus.
Totally. So you're going to get it down to your, just the kind of the roots. And then one of our favorite little tools is just a paintbrush. You could also grab a pen or a pencil. It's great for cleaning up your pot after the fact, but it's nice to kind of, you can take your finger or the paintbrush and create a little hole and stick your roots and your plant down in there. And then I just kind of repeat and pat the soil down after I've got it in there.
Okay. Does that look like enough, Rudy?
Yeah, great. You can use a finger, paintbrush, kind of whatever you want.
And just stick it in there?
Yeah, you sometimes pull down the base or the roots a little bit so it's nice and deep in that soil. You don't want it sitting too high up on top.
Can I push it in with this thing?
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, I can see this big root over here. Okay.
Yeah, so as you go, you're just going to keep kind of pulling it in, and as you add more plants, everything kind of secures up as you're adding more things, yeah.
I am making a complete mess here.
Totally fine. It's what we expect.
So do you guys do any like parties or anything?
We do. Right now we're not hosting a ton of events because COVID, we're limited to really small numbers. But like I said earlier, you're welcome to come in anytime, plant here, or we host parties. We'll come to you, you can come to us.
And you guys do other than just succulent? Because I've taken both a calligraphy and a watercolor class.
Yep, we have all sorts of classes. Again, a little limited right now through COVID, but we've definitely got some on the books. We've got a virtual cocktail class coming up.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, if you're ready for your next one, you can dig in with whatever one you want. I kind of want to go for this guy. Kind of same thing. These have a little bit gnarlier roots than the cactus. Mm-hmm. So
I'm going to copy you.
Great.
Hopefully it looks just as good as yours.
You got it. So this guy is going to have a little bit more of a root system, but still plenty of room.
So what happens if some of his roots fall off? That's okay?
Totally fine. These plants are all super hardy. You want to keep the core roots, but some of those are a little more superficial and can fall away, and the plant will
still survive.
Totally.
Okay.
All right. So kind of same thing. This guy, you want to create a little bit of a bigger hole to get some of those roots in there, but besides that, kind of same thing. As we're going, we're something this small. We're kind of thinking design-wise, a cactus adds a nice texture. This guy adds like a little bit of height and something different. And then arranging as you're going, something this small, we often create like a little threesome and then have like a filler item. So like this little guy. So thinking about design elements as you're going, but tucking it in there, getting those roots down in there in the soil. I might need a tiny bit more, so I'll grab some and then pat down.
I could take my pile here that I made.
Totally. All right, so you're just keeping patting as you're going, securing those little guys up. But if you're making a mess, don't worry, I'll show you how to clean up after. And then,
maybe a little back here. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So then, if we hop into our next one, some of these have multiple and they'll be connected, so we can like split them up. Or some of them are just one, so that's kind of a like design choice.
Okay. I like the little ones.
Yeah, they're kind of fun. So it's kind of the same thing we did before, but this guy I'll probably split up and arrange it in a little bit different part. So.
Oh, he's much drier.
Yeah.
Now, do certain like succulents and certain cactus like more water than others? Or are they kind of pretty the same?
They're more or less the same. Cactus aren't quite as thirsty as the succulents. With the watering instruction card that everyone will get, it'll break down watering care. And that it's going to tell you to water based on succulents, number of succulents. And then the cactus kind of soak up the extra water.
Got it.
So I'm splitting these up into 3. They come apart pretty easily, but you got to kind of press at the center. But you're welcome to keep them together. So I'm going to take all 3 apart. And sometimes you'll see like a little leaf that's fallen away at the bottom. As you're planting, it's a good time to kind of get in there and prune a little.
Off.
Yeah.
I know, it's so funny. So many people, I feel like succulents are the easiest. And I have so many friends that are like, I just keep killing them, and it's overwatering.
It's overwatering almost every single time. They're really sensitive to overwatering.
Even houseplants. It's crazy how many people are like.
Houseplants, it's a little more variable. Or like people, if you forget, they're not that forgiving. If you forget, the succulents probably won't even notice.
I feel like my succulents that do the best are the ones that I forget about the most.
Yeah, that's totally true. So then I'm gonna kind of put one on the other side and one over here to kind of play off each other, do a little bit of mirroring, but you can keep them all together too. A cluster is really cute.
Okay.
And just getting them in there.
This one's like a little well this time, huh?
Yeah, totally. And so then I'm gonna put two on one side and one on the other. When we're planting, we try to keep things kind of mimicking how you would see things clustered in nature. It creates a really cool kind of natural looking effect.
We dumped dirt in here and now it's all over the place.
We expect it. We have people coming in here almost every day making a mess, but that's half the fun of it. And so kind of holding some of your things. I'm holding on to this cactus as I tuck this in, and then as they all come together, they kind of secure each other up.
Yeah, awesome. Okay.
All right. I might pull away some of these extra guys. It'll just be easier to plant. Yeah, totally okay. Perfect.
Push them all down.
Totally. So yeah, it's great to have like little tools at the ready, pencils, paintbrushes, that kind of thing. They're just helpful instead of your finger. It's a little slimmer, easier to get in there. Push some of that dirt down, or as you're going, clean up a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I need a vacuum for this.
I'll show you how to clean up once we get them all in there.
Okay, I think.
All right. So we're ready for our last little guy. These again will break up into little pieces. This is kind of an element we would call a filler, kind of like if you buy a bouquet or something like that. It's a small little pieces that can repeat throughout your planting.
Okay.
So same thing, squeezing, getting all that extra soil off.
Now, when you make these in store, how do you charge by like the plant and the planter and then additional like?
So if you come in to make it in store, everything is priced a la carte. So you're paying for the pot or vessel that you choose per plants. Soil is complimentary, so you come in, you fill up your little bowl, pot, whatever. And then if you want to use any extra finishings, like you're going to get with this one here, the sand, it's priced per unit. Something like this is going to be like 2 to 4 units. Something bigger, 6 to 8, 10 to 12. But the sand is 25 cents. Some things go up in price from there if there's like the glitters and stuff like that. But yeah, we've got it all laid out for you.
Okay.
Okay, so this is about kind of filling in some of that little free space. So I'm going to come over here, but you could totally go in the middle. That's a fun
Right. I feel like because there's a big space
Yeah,
here.
you've got a little bit of a gap in there.
But now I got to move them over.
Cute.
Okay.
And then I'm just kind of going to repeat mine, tuck them over by the cactus, add some nice height and a repeating element again like you would see in nature.
Okay. Just like that.
Perfect. All right. If you feel like it's good, once you've got it all secured up, I usually come in, make sure that all my soil is not overflowing, so tucked in nicely and ready for that sand element. So go in, maybe do an extra tuck, push it all down, and then I clean up the whole thing, any extra dirt with the paintbrush. Super easy, just kind of dust all those little extra dirt specks away. You can rub on the plant as well, like on your cactus. Yep. Just kind of like gets the little flecks of dirt away, cleans it up, and gets it ready for that finishing touch.
Yours looks beautiful. I feel like mine went through like a sandstorm over here.
Yours looks really good too. Totally. At once, if you've got beautiful plants, it all kind of comes together no matter how you arrange it. It always looks cute.
I like how many there are. I feel like I get nervous like at home when I make them. And I'm like, is that too many in one?
No. Succulents love to be kind of like tight and clustered in together. Like if you see them out, a lot of times there's a ton of them like pouring out of a pot or someone's
Yeah.
yard. They really like to be in a big cluster, so they're super happy to be kind of
They're all
in
friends.
their tight. Exactly.
They're an inclusive plant.
Yeah. Totally.
I love it.
So then, final step, everyone who's purchased one of these is gonna get a little bag of sand. It's just kind of a fun finishing touch, covers the soil. You don't have to do it. We like it as a fun little like added accessory. It makes it look really clean, modern. We just take any sort of spoon out of your kitchen, whatever. I've got a fun little wooden one for you.
Perfect.
You're gonna scoop and just kind of cover the soil. Totally okay if it falls over the edge. But you might have to lift a plant or a little bit or something like that, but you're just gonna get in there, cover that soil. You can give it a little tap or shake if you want it to kind of sink down in there, but more or less you're just trying to cover that soil and get it to look nice, clean, fun, finished product.
Awesome. And then that's it? Then you're good to go?
That's it. You can do a final little like clean up, tuck in once you've got all the sand in there. But more or less, that is it. Everyone is going to get some sort of little fun accessory, so maybe a pebble or some rocks or something like that, so we can pull some of that out as well. But
I have one at home, and we put I was at a succulent party, and we put little dinosaurs in them, and they look so cute.
That's fun. We have kids that come in, bring little animals and
Yeah.
things like that. You can add kind of whatever you want. Won't get in the way of the plant, you know?
Perfect.
Okay. So then once I'm all done sanding, I kind of like to get in there, wipe with the paintbrush again, make sure all that sand is nice and secure in the pot, not overflowing. But more or less, that is how you do it.
Awesome. All right. I think I'll have to do some more cleaning up, but
turned out good.
perfect. We could not do this series without our incredible sponsors. So a big shout out to San Diego County Credit Union, the Observatory, West Coast Tavern, Asana Partners, A7D Creative Group, and McFarland Promotions.
It's not big bank banking, it's better. SDCCU is a not-for-profit financial institution focused on people helping people and giving back to our customers and the community with low or no fees, low rates on loans, competitive rates on deposits, innovative technologies, and support for local nonprofits. SDCCU.com. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
All right, we just made our perfect little ones here. I think I'm gonna put this on my coffee table.
There you go. It's a perfect addition.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. And now we're making a second one.
Yes. A
Just
little bit bigger,
Awesome.
a little bit of a different color, but same idea.
You guys can sit, you can admire this one while we're making it.
Yeah, so same thing. You're gonna fill it all the way up with dirt again. Don't be afraid
Okay.
to make a mess. Getting in there, maybe patting it down in the middle.
Can see like roots and previous,
Totally.
Once
It's
in
all
there.
just extra like
Yeah.
organic matter that'll break down, and it's nutrients for the plants.
do you ever notice I found like a little leaf in here?
Yeah.
So sometimes do they pop up and grow out?
They can, totally, yeah. So throw it in there, maybe you'll get a fun little surprise at the end.
I love that. I love the few that I get and the all of a sudden, like a year later, a huge root like this, like it blooms.
Yeah. Those are so special, so fun. It's always fun if you don't know what color you're gonna get to see
Yeah.
what they open up to be.
Yeah, I had a hot pink one and I was like, oh, I had
Ooh.
no idea.
There you go. So I've got our plants again. We've got some prickly guys, but again, we tried to pick stuff that bare hands could grab, especially if we're getting in at the base. These guys, all the spines tuck inward, so they might look a little spikier, but they're actually pretty easy to handle. So again, I always kind of like to start with a cactus, but you can start with whatever you want. Starting with your big, juicy guy is always fun. It kind of sets the tone for the rest of the planting.
Oh, this one it has 3. Look at that in there. There's a little small
A
one.
little one coming up. There you go. And so giving it a good squeeze. Again, if you've got like tongs, chopsticks, gloves to grab these, they're not too bad. I grab with bare hand, kind of down in there at the base. And then just get in there and start getting rid of that extra soil.
Okay. So should I separate mine too, or?
I like to separate them. Sometimes if you get a plant, you'll get them and they'll be connected and they're 2 together. These were separate, so I separate them. Then you can kind of play. I think yours might be connected.
Yeah, they
so
look connected. And they have like the little baby.
The little baby coming
there.
up. There
it's
you
very
go.
sweet.
All right, so then I'm just gonna get in there again. Finger, or again, you can use paintbrush, create a little hole, stick it in there, pat soil down around to secure it up. But if yours feels a little wobbly at the start, know that adding the extra plants will add some security around.
Okay.
Perfect. It's much faster when they're connected.
Yeah.
So then getting in there, I like to play with height a little bit. Sometimes one's taller than the other. It's a fun element. And then just patting down a little bit, cleaning up. Okay. Then we're going to have, for the bigger planting, you get a couple repeating elements. So we've got a couple, these guys are called parvas. So you can do that. And then a couple of these nodocactus. So you can kind of mirror, you can pair them together, whatever you think. It's a fun kind of thing to think about as you're working. I'm going to start with these guys.
Okay.
And like I said, the spines turn inward toward the cactus, so not too pokey, but getting in there, rubbing that extra dirt away.
Okay. What's your favorite succulent?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm a big fan. We have these like light pink ones, but sometimes they come in a little more like light lavendery called Lolas that are really good.
Okay.
But I don't know. I kind of love them all.
Depends on the mood and day.
Exactly. Sometimes I like something dark like this, a little like moodier and fun, or sometimes these like rosette guys are really a fave. Just depends. So I'm going to stick this one over here, but feel free to.
I just completely knocked mine
Oh
over.
no, that's okay. If that happens,
It means I didn't do it long.
yeah, maybe
enough.
you need to pat down a little bit more, but as you kind of go through, excuse me, secure things up, that it'll all feel tighter.
Okay.
Then I'm going to grab my next one.
I'm just gonna. Do you have that brush?
I sure do.
Cool. Thank you.
There we are. So same thing, just peeling that extra dirt away as you go. You're working to just get yours extra secured in there.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this other dark one and mirror it on the other side. I think it's kind of fun to play with that, but it would also be really cute to put it over here.
Oh yeah, kind of like the. Maybe I'll create a hole here.
There you go.
Okay.
Same thing, it's just
Just
kind of
keep going.
repeating over and over again, just getting that extra dirt off. I'm going to squeeze this guy out.
Okay, if you don't have a favorite succulent, well, you said, I guess, the Lola.
I do love the Lolas for
Okay.
sure.
What about houseplant?
Houseplants. Again, really hard. I love the philodendron family. So
Is
we've
that like
got,
a pothos?
it's kind of like a pothos. So
Okay.
a philodendron that looks like a pothos is called a cordatum, or there's Brazil that are like green with a lighter green streak that are really fun.
Pretty.
But they're also those big split leaves that you'll see with the big heart-shaped leaves with the split in them. And then there's a hope philodendron that's more of a like zigzaggy, broad leaf, but
Yeah.
with big cuts into it.
Okay.
Those are also some faves. And the philodendrons are another one of my favorites because they're just so easy to care for. They're just kind of pretty easygoing. They can
Yeah.
handle brighter light, lower light, water once a week-ish, but they're forgiving, which is always,
That's nice.
yeah.
It's a good starter plant.
Exactly. It's a really good starter plant.
I had
But
I had
like
a
the
friend who
pothos.
can't keep any plants alive, and he texted me and he goes, look at this big, beautiful plant I got. He bought a fiddly fig. I was like, that is the most temperamental.
They're finicky. My big recommendation is that they're light lovers.
Yeah.
So make sure you're researching the light that they need and then making sure you have the right kind of light before you bring it home.
I know.
Because if they're not getting the light they need, they're going to get grumpy. So I always recommend.
And they're not cheap.
They're not cheap. If you buy a big, full-grown, mature tree, they're expensive.
Yeah.
So beautiful, but expensive. But we've got all sorts of sizes, so little, so you can start with a little one, see how you're doing. But yeah, I always recommend making sure you've got the right light for those guys and just consistency. With all plants, consistency is really key. All right, so I've got my succulents in here. I'm going to move on to my little filler plants, but I think you've got one more of those parvas to do.
Okay, here we go. I'll show you guys how mine's coming along. Yet again, very messy, but you know.
We clean up before we get
afterwards.
It all fancy and squared away.
Makes it unique, right?
Totally.
Every one of them are unique.
So here's mine, kind of pre-sand before it gets going. I'll come in here, clean up any of this extra dirt, making sure all my soil is in there, nice and patted down, ready for sand.
Okay.
All right. Getting to those finishing steps. I'm going to grab my sand and start doing that. We've also got some fun little lava rocks. Everyone will get one of those. Just kind of a fun touch to add in. You can add it before or after sand. Adds another element of texture and visual interest.
Okay.
There we go. So I'm just going to start sanding over that soil, maybe give it a little tap as I'm going to help that sand settle in, but just covering that soil.
Pushing all in. Hanging with their homies here.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes lifting up the plants a little bit so we can get the sand nice and tucked under there so it's all covered.
This one as a filler here.
Yeah, there you go.
I know, now that I know they all like to be together, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do
Load them in there. Yeah, fill it up. Nice full arrangements are so fun.
Now, how do you care? I know every time I come and buy a plant, you guys have a little card in there. And is this going to be in their kit?
Exactly. So everyone who checks out will get a little care card and a syringe for watering. The care card breaks down how much water the arrangements need based on per succulent. Something this size, you're going to do a couple syringes every 2 to 3 weeks. Something smaller like the little guys we did before, you're going to do a syringe and a half every 2 to 3 weeks. So super easy. The care card will break it down for you. So I'm kind of finished up sanding. I'm just going to...
Now, do I put the rock before or after?
It's kind of up to you. I like to put it before to see where I want it in the arrangement.
Okay.
But then sometimes I'll play with where I want it, sand, and then put it back in. It's kind of up to you. It's not super important either way.
Okay.
So then just coming in, cleaning up. Yeah.
Here's my rock.
There's your rock. That's
here.
A fun spot, yeah.
This has a huge opening here.
Yeah.
So do you guys have different colored sands and such?
We do. Everyone who purchased the kit is going to get like a clean white sand, keeping it really classic and neutral. But we've got pinks, teals, tans, all the colors you'd want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said this is probably one of the most popular things Pigment is known for?
Yeah, for sure. Plantings. We've got really...
And your pink wall.
Our pink wall, totally. We try to do some sort of fun feature photo wall at every store. And then the pink wall outside of North Park, and then there's one in that store as well. So lots of fun places to come take a cute snap.
I noticed too in the last like year, you guys have even gotten more and more plants. I felt like
Totally.
overnight I walked in and it was like a nursery.
Yeah, plants are super, super popular right now, and I think we're kind of just leaning in and going for the lush jungle vibe when you walk in.
Yeah.
All right, shake it up a little, settle that sand, but I think more or less you've done it.
I've done it. What do you guys think? Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah, thank you for
all
coming.
of this. And hopefully you guys had just as much fun. I'm going to actually look at the camera because I'm making a mess here. So hopefully you will join us next week on Thursday for the next virtual series. You can head over to explorenorthpark.com to check out what that is. Thank you so much, Allison.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't wait. I'm like, this might go in the baby's nursery.
There you go.
High
Just
up
make sure.
so the baby doesn't
Yeah.
touch it, but it's beautiful. So thank you so much
Yeah, of course.
for
It's
your
really
help.
fun.